sir?
Yo, yo.
Do you read me, sir?
Yes,
Loud
copy.
and clear. What's up, everybody? Justin Smith and I have finally figured out the podcasting game. We're on level 2 of it.
Yeah, from Hawaii to Pennsylvania.
Yes,
So
we're putting it together. We're trying to get the sound quality up, trying to get the viewpoints, people more prepared. Did a podcast earlier on my own. I mean, you could call it that, but it was more of like a deep dive into certain subjects that are only happening around here. And dude, these lanternflies, like, there's a lot more to look into it. And I'm not trying to conspiracize it, but there is like a weird correlation. You're like talking about, you know, the jab, and we're talking about the variants, and now we're talking about lanternflies that come from the same region as you know, everything else came from. So in reality, they're like, finally I got down to it, and it's like, how did this get here? And they're claiming that the eggs of a lanternfly, since they're like masterful egg layers, and that's like really what they do. I'm serious. And their eggs can survive winter, it can survive anything, and then just be reborn. And they're in the form of like what looks like mud, so you could almost smear eggs on pallets that are coming in any direction. Like, you can infest a nation with this stuff, incoincidentally. So what they're saying is like unintentional infestation has occurred. So when you use phrases like it's unintentional, that means there's a reverse side, and somebody could have, and I'm not saying that they did, I'm just speculating that it could be used intentionally because they use that word. And the article's in the podcast where they use it, so I'm just really trying to dance around the, stay on the fence. But I know you haven't been here. You were here when the lanternflies were here the last time. I mean, I'm not trying to put my tinfoil hat on and freak out about this thing, but dude, it's getting everywhere. And I want to hear your opinion on it when you left.
Oh yeah, I know all about the lanternflies. I was part of the awareness team. They like a certain tree, so basically
the tree of heaven.
That's the only way to get rid of them.
Too.
So I've learned, like that if you're gonna basically try to eradicate a tree, it'll shoot off like 30, 40, 50 different other tree sprouts, and it's really hard to get on top of. So really the only way to put an end to this invasive tree is to basically kill it from the inside out, and the only natural way to do that is with like a mushroom spore, and it takes like a couple of years for the spores to just kill the whole tree from the inside out. But what they've been doing is poisoning it, and then they've also been cutting it and stripping the branches, which is triggering basically hundreds of different offshoots of this tree. So it's basically just negligence and just uneducated. Like, people are just given orders to just knock out this tree that's invasive. It's growing over the highways, and it reminds me of a tree out here in Hawaii, out in Kihei on the south side. It's like this tree with these pricker branches, and they all fall into the beach. And we were trying to clean up trash on the beach, and everybody was getting like thorns in their feet, and they were saying that it was some sort of like terror tactic, basically, like hundreds of years ago, where they just planted this tree to like fuck with the natives, basically, and just like, fuck their feet up, and just, because they all had boots on and shit.
Gosh.
And, so it's plant warfare out here.
It is,
and
dude. It's biological, like, theoretically, like, I mean, you really get, like, first off, I don't know how long we're into this, but everybody get your tinfoil hats, put them on for a minute. Like, don't take us as like telling you this. Like, these are just things we're reading, we're hearing from people, we're organically learning about it in front of you ourselves. I have articles in front of us that we haven't read, that we're going to read, that we're going to analyze. Like, there's, we're trying to remain on the fence as much as possible. We're trying to remain, also, we really got to worry about censorship. So a lot of the things we're on the fence about are just, we want to do the dance for YouTube, but in a way we don't. So we would just like to everybody not have like an opinion on our opinions. Like, we're just really just stating things we've learned from each other. Because we're going to get Karens, bro. We're going to get Karens, and we're going to come in all at once.
We'll see how much we can get away with.
Yeah, I want to push it a little bit. I want to be honest. I know, dude, the JRE show just he blasted. He blasted everybody.
He can.
So he got away with what he did. Maybe
they're not going to shut him down. So.
No. Yeah. So he's claiming that because everybody's taking a shot that actually doesn't 100% defend anything, that we'll just say, you know, the germ is entering your body and it's leaving it, but it's mutating, it's learning. It's like, shit, I can't go into him. I got to do something different. So now you have a variant. So now you have a jab that prevents you from the first one, and now you're going to have to get a second one to prevent you from the third one. We're not claiming all these different things are inside of it. It's just, really wonky. So I think the jabbed and the unjabbed are going to be in the same kind of, parallelogram of like, should I have even taken it, or should I not have taken it? What was the difference? We're still in square one.
Yeah, well, everyone's definitely confused, so
Excuse me. Yeah.
There's no shortage of that. I just saw when I was walking by one of these
angry too. I'm sorry to cut you
yeah.
off. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was walking by one of these newspaper stands, and I just read the front page of the Maui Times or whatever it was called, and it was like athletes must be all vaccinated if you're gonna play in any school sports. So I was talking to some other elders about it, and they were all worked up. They're gonna go out and protest and shit,
yeah,
and they're gonna do what they can. And I also noticed on the side of the road there was a picnic table set up with an umbrella, and then there's a few people sitting in chairs with masks on, and they had a sign to sign kids up for school just along the side of the road by a thrift shop. So I've never seen anything like that before.
Yeah,
so that was interesting.
If they're begging people to go to school,
they're begging.
I'm sorry.
And then they're gonna get them on the online,
Yeah.
So
there's a lot of bait and switch going on, and I'm not accusing that particular school or any schools or anybody, but there's a lot of concert-related things. Like our close friend Josh, he still has tickets to the Deftones tour from last August that got canceled. Ticketmaster just kept your money, and now they're delaying it, and it's supposed to be this August, and then just delayed it again, and they've already
now they're
spent
going to force
money,
the mandate.
That money, and now they're going to be like, well, if you want to go to it, you're going to have to take it back. So you're not getting your money back.
They're going to be giving out a shit ton of
it's gonna be
hand sanitizer and plastic gloves.
In this state of time, when we're going into lockdown, we're going into a variant, and I'm not on the other side
variant
of the
mindset.
But if somebody is not V'd yet, how do you convince them? What do you say? Take it to take it? Because it's to the point now. It's like, well, I work in retail, and we're not even going to get into that in this discussion. That's a whole another episode.
Yeah.
2 or 3, if you give me the time. But if you force them to take it, dude, I'm already lost because I get frustrated.
Yeah, well, I would
Go ahead, take it from here, because when I said retail and started talking about the experiences we're going through, we have the right to complain, but it's almost like you can't.
I mean, just my whole philosophy is whether you've taken it or not, be polite to either side. But for the people that have chosen to take it, I'm more of in a mindset where you ought to attempt to detoxify out that vaccine, or just if you've taken flu shots, or if you've been going to the doctor a lot and having a lot of things inserted, or just anything
you gotta slow her down, man.
You gotta flush out. You gotta have a healing mindset after that, because if you just keep they're gonna keep coming out with more shots, even aside from this one. So I don't have the mindset of I need every single shot that comes out, but if something seems serious and I notice severe impact in my own personal life, then obviously that's a different scenario, but that's not what I've been noticing on my end. And I've been from Pennsylvania to Hawaii at this point, been in California for a little bit,
Oregon. With somebody with
I've lived with people with COVID. Yeah. Someone in our band, somebody's lane, had it.
I've been sent home.
So.
And they're like, you were in a room with so and so. He has COVID, and I go, well, he has the vaccine. And they go, yeah, but you were still around him. And I go, well, what the hell is the vaccine for? And they're just like, you know, we don't know. We're just trying to follow these fucking laws. And like outside in Pennsylvania, we got Governor Tom Wolf, and I'm sorry, but dude, that guy is, ugh.
Well, just see what's going on in New York right now,
dude,
where apparently,
baby, I got them articles pulled up.
Yeah, what's going on in New York again? Some crazy,
dude, New York
super strict.
I'm gonna type in New York restrictions.
Someone was freaking out about it the other day. I'm just trying not to worry about it because it's usually pretty laid back.
So everybody has travel advisories. Oh, Governor Cuomo is accused of sexual assault, and he's.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah. So that's your governor. I think Tom Wolf is probably in the same, on the same team as that. I'm not accusing him of shit, but. Somebody all looking at that guy. He's a fucking weasel. So there's everybody hates that dude in Pennsylvania, no matter what side they're on. He's like everything he does, he's really trying, but it's just like, dude, you should do the opposite of what you're doing, like closing down liquor stores. Like everybody is just gonna go crazy and buy alcohol and become fucking.
It's just
nuts.
Increasing liquor stores. Like people are gonna still find a way to get liquor. This isn't prohibition. Like you can't just close liquor stores down in one town.
If you can, if you're in Pennsylvania and you're a Commonwealth and you own the state. All right, so I got something.
It's just creating like surges in that like people are like I'm at the old Blockbuster. All the old Blockbusters have like morphed into like wine and spirit liquor stores basically.
Well, dude, like. They closed my wine and spirits around here, and luckily we live close to Maryland and Delaware, but it was getting slightly risky because they were pulling people over in Pennsylvania or Delaware or whatever out of state. You know, there was police officers waiting at the beer stores and shit. And if you had a PA license, you know, you'd be lucky to have a Maryland ID. Maybe you moved that week. So, long story short, I traded New York strip steak for vodka. And that was my first coronavirus deal. I traded steak for liquor, and it was a good deal, and it worked out fine.
Yeah.
So just weird shit like that. I mean, there's always going to come back to source of trade. So acquire people around you that can have different.
Yeah, well, I noticed they're trying to phase out going into stores, and then when you do have to go into stores, you have to go into the big ones like Walmart, Target, Costco, and then they want to like scan the shit out of you when you come in. They got like 50 million cameras everywhere. They're scanning every section, second of, of your shopping experience, and then you got your phone that's just linked up to it, and they're just collecting data on like how quick you're gonna like go in there and buy like some shit.
Yeah, and all that's building, all that's building up to is basically like what.
It's an EMF overload, honestly.
It is,
it shouldn't be allowed.
Why we've been doing this is because eventually, just like France and Australia, now I'm going to read the New York City. This is NewYorkTimes.com. This is an article that was written on August 3rd. And this is why they're gearing up to all that, because say you're a subscription member to eBay, right?
Yeah.
Now they're going to say, well, are you vaccinated? And they're going to say...
Yeah, you're shipping items out,
no. And they're going to be like, sorry, you can't be a customer here, but you're free to do whatever else you want in life, but you just can't work with us. So you can do whatever you want, and they're going to give that.
You're right.
So what we're saying, or what we're reading, or what...
At least that's going to be the case for a while. I think they're going to like just have such severe...
No one's going to hold you down and shove a needle in your arm. No one's going to rip
But I do think we can have it reversed later down the road, but they're going to trick everybody in the meantime. They're going to be like, everybody's got to do this. Like, you just have to do it.
Covered in lanternflies and fucking...
Yeah, you're going to be covered in lantern...
Like, just getting honeydew
getting your arm poked all the time. Yeah.
Disgusting. Okay, so let's get into this article. I'll tell you who it's written by. It's written by a few people, by Emma G. Fitzsimmons, Sharon Otterman, and Joseph Goldstein. The title reads, New York City will require workers and customers both to show proof for at least one dose for indoor dining and other activities. So one dose It's not to prevent the spread. It's not to prevent you from being sick less or more. So they're just requiring for 1 dose. That's fine. It's weird.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's the beginning. New York City will become the first U.S. city to require proof for at least 1 dose of a jab. I mean, we've already said the word like 50 times, but
I know.
We haven't been bashing anything. We're just reading articles. You know, we're trying to remain objective.
We'll see what happens.
And I am objective. I think you are too. It's just more or less scared, realistic, and I'm not seeing any results from anything that's been done for the whole entire year, to be honest.
Yeah, I just always have bad experience going to the doctors and just trusting every new thing that they come out with.
Yeah.
Like some things are necessary, most other things aren't. So
I like
you know.
Yeah, I like the dentist, dude. They hooked me up. So shout out to my dentist. Appreciate you. I still have 0 cavities. I think it's from all the coffee.
Wow.
No, I'm just kidding. I don't know what it's from. I brush my teeth, people. Come on. So we're going to get into this. Let me take a little sip. Alright, so. Ooh. I had some strong coffee, as always.
Yeah, I drank my coffee already.
Got some? Take a little sip.
You drink. Yeah.
Take a little sip because you're going to need it. My pen died.
Yeah. Alright.
Yeah, so
I'll take a
I
sip.
had to kick it to the curb, so I'm kind of pissed off extra. Indoor dining, gyms, and performances to pressure on, to put...
Oh yeah, that's what it was. Indoor dining, I think it was,
I hate
in
the
New
way
York
this
City,
is written
or New
for
York
dashes.
entirely.
First of all, New York Times, stop doing all these dashing things. Indoor dining, gyms, and performances to put out pressure on people to get vaccinated. Mayor Bill de Blasio. Hey, you gotta get your vaccine. You can't work out unless you have at least 1. You know what I'm saying? Get a little taste of it. You know what I'm saying? The program similar to mandates issued in France. Wow, so similar to the mandates that France issued and Italy issued last month, and they will start on August 16th. So France and
Just
Italy,
smoking some CBG real quick too, because it's going to be on camera. I just want everyone to know it's a little bit of CBG.
It's completely legal and it's grown here in PA. We may have way too much of it. So Italy and France did this last month, about 2 or 3 weeks ago. What goes on there goes on here. It's a precursor to what happens. It's a testing level of a country that's already, in the midst of everything. And side note, Israel is close to 90% vaccinated, right?
Yeah.
They're on lockdown. Same thing. Right?
My boss is
same thing.
It doesn't Israeli. He's not.
If we get to 90%, it's going to be hard to debate like that. That's going to be. Everything's going to be okay after that. Like, it's not like being fully vaxxed and being fully, like, how you could be 100% right now, and you're still going to have this generalization of control. You're like, we're having like a breakaway section right now. It's like, you're either with us or you're not with us. And like, you see different countries doing it, correlating with each other, and it's kind of frightening, and this is kind of step 1. At least we're in step 2.
Yeah, well, what's this like cooking bullshit now where like if you don't get certain jabs then like you're gonna actually spread it? Because like from what I always thought about that shit is like when you're younger and like people get like measles like jab or whatever, like if somebody doesn't get it, the people that got those jabs already, like they don't have to worry about getting measles. They got the jabs, so like why is this one different where
it is different.
everybody has to get it, and the people that get it still aren't technically safe apparently. They're still worried about some kind of massive extinction of humanity when there's clearly other things like in plain sight, like just all like the farm fields getting all sprayed, and just the people that go out and work out there, they get all chemicals on their skin, and like,
I mean,
like
let's
okay.
Yeah, and I really want to put my fucking hat on right now and go into some crazy shit about the farming industry.
Well, I'll tell you, if you want to know about what's going on in Hawaii for a second.
You rant. Let's go.
Well, I just learned a lot recently from somebody that's been living here like their whole life, and they used to have like a huge pineapple operation here, and then they used a lot of chemicals, and a lot of people that worked in that industry got like really sick, like cancer and just rashes, and then basically they've replaced it in the meantime, and they're basically growing the native fruit, which is called breadfruit. It's called ulu, ULU.
ULU?
Yeah, and they're growing like fields of it, which I've never seen before. I've never seen. Breadfruit, it kind of looks like a jackfruit in a way. It's just like this. It grows pretty big. It's kind of like a potato kind of thing that grows on a tree. Has like a sweeter flavor. It can be eaten cooked either like a potato, or also can ripen and be like a fruit that you can just eat like off the tree, or just ripen it. So it's like there's only a couple like native species like on the island. Most of the plants have been imported. There's another one, the koa tree, and it's hard to find because the bark is used as a like DMT trip type bark, and there's a lot of other types of barks growing here that do the same thing.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
They're using a lot of different barks now. I feel like trees are getting more popular with medicinal value. I know we obviously know the sassafras and the willow bark, but like, dude, I think people are really barking up a storm, dude. I think they're really getting into like their fucking star mentality. Yeah. Like, there's.
I just tried a bark tea with ash, and it worked. It felt great. It actually, I think that was the one that induces sweating. It was either that one or like a pine. I combined that with like a pine tree that I looked up that was growing out in the forest on a hike. I just like worked, like did like a long run, and I was just like sweating like crazy. I even took like a super hot like shower. I just wanted to keep the sweat going and just keep flushing and drinking water, and it was. I would recommend trying the ash bark, and also even just the leaf. You can just eat it right off the tree. I did it, and it wasn't like tough or anything. It tasted actually great. Like it went down pretty easily. So it could help somebody. With trees are kind of like natural aspirin. Basically, they base aspirin off of like the bark of trees. The leaves and the roots they all do the same thing. But it's actually, I believe that it's actually better to just go take the living specimen and just utilize that when needed.
So they actually, it's in the same. So it's funny you say that. So it's acetaminophen is what it is.
Yeah.
So, acetaminophen is what's in Tylenol. It's in ibuprofen. It's in other things that aren't opium plant derived.
Yeah.
Acetaminophen taken naturally through ghost pipe, through tree bark, through this.
Yeah.
We're discovering, one, it's non-addictive because we don't have any additives. It's more of a remedy rather than a dependency on it. You don't need ghost pipe every day. Now, I just sprayed just a little aloe gel on my knees and my sprayed live, but I did a little aloe gel on my knees and my elbows because, dude, I went out 6 a.m. today, and I hiked, and I was going for last ghost pipe documentation. I wasn't taking any more. I knew where they were, and I'll be honest, dude, I came away being pissed off about lanternflies the whole time. They were everywhere, and I filmed one. So I started a deep dive. I was like, this perfect time to be an expert reporter and get to the bottom of it, and it's sketchy. Man. Sketchy. So I'm gonna get back.
Yeah, those lanternflies. Yeah,
it's a real similarity. So this guy has.
They aren't here. Like they're only in a certain area.
Breaking news, man! Breaking news.
Are they spreading?
Yeah. So the map only leads. Dude, the map is crazy. So it only shows like us, like. Really, we're the heart, the tri-state area. So we're in the corner of Pennsylvania. It borders, it's called the Wedge. It borders Delaware, Maryland, and then New Jersey's kind of right next to it, and Virginia's right next to it. So that's where it kind of started. Allegedly, the pallets of rocks that came from China had the eggs on it. it's bullshit. But that's where they're claiming it from. And, dude, it's going to spread. So this guy just commented on our channel, BMG, after I posted this podcast, the day, about 3 or 4 hours ago. He goes, they are all over northern Michigan, and that is insane.
Okay, well, shit, it's spreading.
Another guy compliments. I'm in the Poconos. Here too. Shit, dude.
That makes sense, yeah, Poconos.
Yeah, that's in their range, but like, dude, in northern Michigan, so these fucking insects, all they need is like 2 months of warm. Or not even really, like...
Dude, it's just another excuse for them to, like, try out these new, like, chemicals to try to fight against them. Basically, if everybody just learns about this tree and this insect, we can just buy mushroom spore plugs, buy a bag of them for, like $15-20. You get a drill, and you just drill, like, 20 holes into a tree.
Dude, that's
and then
what
you
we
knock...
gotta sell, man.
And then you knock in these plugs into the tree, and then it'll kill the tree in 2-3 years. Like, some trees are going to fall on top of people's houses and shit, so those ones are going to be tricky. But this is just, like, there's a lot of trees that need the same treatment because we have a lot of invasive trees, and, like, we're not even really aware half the time what's growing in our forests. So.
Yeah, and, like, so, excuse me, so, I've been in the forests around here. I haven't actually been traveling too far out of our 30-mile radius. It's taught me a lot because I spent a lot of time in old forest, and it's getting bad. Like, dude, the lanternflies, what they do and why they're bad and how they spread is exactly like a fucking virus, dude. They're like cancer to the woods. Like, anything they're climbing on, they're shitting out this sugary substance that creates mold. And you know what else that most people don't know is that sugary substance attracts other bugs. So it's attracting other bugs to the trees when they leave.
It's a plague, dude.
And they're fucking them up even more. So it's like a thing that attracts a thing. Like, it's a double-edged sword. And I'm not trying to be the lanternfly conspiracy guy. Like, I'm not.
No, you're right,
but
dude. You're right. It's serious.
It's a natural woods infection, and like they are getting into the city. They are climbing walls. There's an article in Temple that's in that podcast I did, and I played it live, and we listened to it. And the professor at Temple is like, we need to be terrified of this. We need to prevent this. We need to stop this now. And it's fucking, you could switch the vocabulary, right? And it would be about a virus.
Dude, this has been going on for like the last...
It's crazy talk, and now I'm in it. We got our YouTube channel pumping, thank you everybody, but like, damn, like, shit's getting weird. I don't like finding out about certain things.
Yeah, but here, dude, 80, 90 years ago, basically, like, we had like apple and pear trees growing all over Pennsylvania in abundance, and fruit was just falling for free, basically, and there was like a couple insects I remember growing up. We were always worried about, like, the Japanese beetle was like terrorizing shit. People had like plastic bags in their set up in their backyard, like uniform.
Yeah, they're
collecting these
things. They die through the winter though. That's the whole thing.
I haven't really seen them that much. Like, I feel like I see them once in a while, but there's basically just a collection of different invasive species now that are just all trying to live together, and I'm not the guy with the answer, but I would definitely not like spray chemicals into the ground, because that just seems to just be messing up our food chain.
Dude, to cut you off right there, the biggest fucking problem with them is you can't get rid of them by spray. So if you spray them and, with chemicals, you're fucking doing the same thing they're doing. You're ruining your forest. So if we spray them with a bunch of shit like Dawn soap, it's going to kill all our plants anyway. So there needs to be an extreme, like, push on a lanternfly antidote that only affects him. Like, we need to push this now. We need, like, I'm not for spraying of chemicals, but we need to figure out a way.
Dude, I would recommend like an underground like bandit campaign of just identifying these trees, like raising awareness of what to look for. It's really easy to identify the leaf of this tree, and then you can just look all around it and see it's already going to have a ton of little baby versions of it. And
yeah, but they're hard to see in the wild, dude. So those baby ones, I've been in the same forest.
Maybe we can set up like a volunteer campaign and start like start going out there with the drill. Like get a couple people with drills. Like if we get like 2-3 people going out there with drills for a couple hours, just like we'll identify spots ahead of time and just.
I can do it right now. I mean,
at least we can save our own area. Other people they're on their own, but we can at least protect like. Where we're from.
Well, I got into trying to buy land earlier, and it's like, do I want to buy land in Pennsylvania where this new insect, basically cancer of the woods is what I'm labeling it. It's just turning everything black. It's disgusting. It's ruining our cities too.
Yeah.
And the only natural, predator, there is zero, but praying mantises. And 2 or 3 birds like it. So I'm trying to invoke, a praying mantis was endangered when we were younger. Do you remember that? Like never being told to touch one? I don't know if you remember that or not.
They're sacred. They're always sacred, yeah.
So I think it's time for the rise of the praying mantis. I think it's the praying mantis year. Dude. I think we should. They have been pumping. They're off their endangered list. Dude, I see them all the time. Justin, let's unleash, like, I want somebody to hear this, like,
let's get some praying
mantis eggs. I'll buy a piece of property infested with them, and I'll let
praying
you
mantis
release
sanctuary
praying mantis.
Hat or something.
Please, let's kill them.
Yeah.
They're not good, like, dude, and they don't need to be anywhere. Yeah, so...
Well, yeah, I mean, if it's just, like, a, growing effort of just... getting rid of this tree that provides no benefit, it has no medicinal remedy. It's basically just like an Asian invasive tree that was, probably sent here as just like a joke or something. Like somebody was probably like, like in their country, like their environment already knows how to handle that tree, and it's the insects that like it.
Predators, dude. It's like snakeheads too. It's very fucking similar, like.
So we could do the same thing to them and, like, drop poison ivy off and just, like, just, like, live your whole life just trying to, like,
Give them some oak.
Yeah. But...
Yeah, but... What?
I think we're going to be fine if we just start raising more awareness about it,
Yeah, I think, dude, I'm not trying to, like, freak people out or be the fortune teller here, but be aware, man. These fucking flies... are not stink bugs. They're not stupid. They're not dumb. And
stink bugs are another like problem. They can just get in through any window. These are like stink
bugs on crack. Dude.
They get into
these things
everything.
Do the same thing. They do the same thing, and like it turns out they love buildings. And the guy, the temple guy, he was filming in Philly. Like dude, there's just piles of them. It's like cicada infestation. So every year they're gonna get worse. There's no program that's making them less, so it's getting insane. So yeah, they're bad around here,
dude. They're actually. I feel like they're just promoting the problem because, dude, I always see when I'm driving, like I see people trimming the invasive trees that are getting close to the power lines. Their only answer is to just keep trimming it.
Climb up,
so dude. I think that the whole so basically the scam is these power lines are basically taking up too much real estate, and it's creating this problem with the tree. They're like basically like propagating the shit out of these like invasive trees that grow into the power lines. So if you want to put your tinfoil hat on, I'm gonna.
Let's go. I got one for you right when you're done. Let's go, baby. Tell me. Everybody, put them on. I'm taking a sip of coffee. We're gonna enter the second realm. Let's go.
Yeah, I've just noticed a lot of spraying, like people with like special backpacks of fluid, and they have like a little spray gun, and they're just walking around, and they have a mask on too. So I'm thinking like they're outside with a mask on and a backpack of fluid,
spraying away,
and they'll just be right out in front of a grocery store, like the natural food store. Honestly.
It ain't no ghost pipe spray, I tell you.
Yeah, and they're just No, so they're just the people are just so lazy. I saw this one guy had this beautiful property, and he had this like medicinal noni fruit tree farm, and there's probably like 40 trees down the slope of a hill, and on his driveway there was like a bunch of cracks, and there was some weeds growing out of the cracks, and he was just spraying Roundup in all the cracks of his driveway, and and just I was just thinking like that's just gonna drift down the slope right into these trees that you're like making like like a remedy from. So it's just upsets me to see people still using like this kind of crap, and you just hear so many bad stories like people with just that have worked in these basically farms for the hate to name drop, but since the company doesn't even exist anymore, so you can just say like Monsanto.
They're done censoring.
Like,
they got enough money now to stop interrupting everybody.
Yeah, they're out. They're
now somebody else that's probably
they don't have any
running the fucking Lanternfly.
Bayer, dude.
So
Bayer.
Poisoning that shit.
Yeah, so everybody knows they were a huge part of the pineapple operation here, and they're kind of like DuPont, honestly.
Yeah, to
like,
medicine.
I'm just gonna go out and say it. Like they're probably gonna have juries like get me with a silent bullet for this.
Sell your soul, buddy.
It's pretty much the company making these fertilizers, for the farms, and then they tell they make it so hard for the farms to grow naturally without the support of the subsidies of the government, and they say this is the fertilizer we want you to use.
And why they real quick, why they chose soy? So now that hemp is finally used as a rotational crop, like you could grow corn, then soy again, then maybe marigold, then corn. Hemp provides nutrients to the soil without taking much, so without hemp you're forced to grow soy to do that for you. So soy doesn't take much, it gives a lot. Like
silly.
They just fucking genetically modified it, so like anytime the soy grows, it's in the soil of your corn, so now they own that. Like it's fucking crazy, and they're gonna do, I mean, I hope that's over with. I think they got around all that. Monsanto made their money. And they can have it. They can fucking take it. Because fuck their chickpeas. I ain't eaten chickpeas in years.
Chickpeas is not soy,
I know,
but
fucking
else,
Monsanto.
Right? It's a bean. It's another kind of bean. There's a lot of kinds of beans.
They're modified. That's all I'm saying.
They just pick
I'm like,
they pick
but my tinfoil hat's on. You let me. Let me speculate.
Well, yeah, they it's fine. I mean, they picked the most boring bean basically because they knew that like people weren't going to just steal it like marijuana fields, or they could be growing like some other like valuable bean or black beans and like have that in abundance, and everybody could just have free black beans or whatever.
You could grow a field of lettuce every year. It's not going to absorb a bunch of nutrients. You need plants that give back the nutrients you took from, and soy was the number one use for that because you weren't allowed to use hemp. So now they're just like railing you with forcing you to use soy, and then they get fucking censorship over your farm and over what you do because you're using their shit. And if you don't, you're not going to make any fucking money because you can't grow soy by yourself without them. It's weird.
Yeah, I mean...
It's over now, but we're just talking about it. So all this you guys can look up. I'm not reading this from an article.
I lived right next to a soy field at a farmhouse. Yeah, I mean, just recently. And it was sketchy as shit. I was trying to, do some hemp, legal, licensed CBG, CBD hemp farming. And I was trying to get some paperwork on basically the surroundings of the fields because there's corn and soy growing everywhere, and I just wanted to get soil tests and shit like that. But the first step was to just figure out is this just some really bullshit poison, GMO soy, because I don't want to really live somewhere like that for a long time, be surrounded by just this field that just gets just peppered with just all kinds of disgusting shit.
Farmers are more influenced to sell their land and lease their land, and then let that guy do it all. They'll go, hey, you fucking kick back, you chill, buddy.
Yeah,
you're chilling now. I'll take care of your land.
like you don't want to live next to these farm fields anymore. They're not like they used to be. You know, you pretty much have to have it separate.
So in Maryland, this year, 2021, you're allowed to use hemp as a rotational crop. So now, fuck soy. So now you don't need. So now you can grow corn, then hemp, then corn, then hemp, then marigold, or whatever it is next. Like corn takes a lot of nutrients because it's all fucking modified too.
Well, and it's bullshit. It's bullshit corn because it's not
a
for
lot of
human
it's for
consumption
feed, and a lot
too.
of it's
So
just ground up and just made into like our filler, and that's what soy is, dude. Like they claim like, oh, this is plant based. I'm like, dude, this is fucking soy
and ethanol.
Like, why am I like, if I'm trying to.
It's a good solvent, ethanol, but still, you don't want to make solvents from bullshit crops.
Eating
you know,
beef or pork over anything, but like, you don't want to eat too much soy either. It can have the same effect.
Yeah, if the animals are just eating that bullshit, cheapest, bottom of the barrel bullshit, that's just it's kind of just you have to be aware so you don't get sucked in to just you know you getting controlled by like the food they sell at the grocery stores. You know?
Meat? It's because the fucking it's like gonna be real at some point. Like it's not just gonna be like a soy protein patty. It's gonna be like fucking real plants and fucking growing meat, dude. It's gonna be nasty. And you're not gonna want to be a part of it. It's gonna be sick. It's gonna be sick, dude.
Yeah, I'm pretty much against all of it. If it's wrapped in plastic, then it just means we're just eating plastic
soy
constantly, and that's basically
beef. And the soy farms are literally like taking away so much land and property and rights for farmers that they might as well grow cattle, or they, you know, like it's just everything is fucked. All that shit is in the same category.
Yeah, well, the animals were all getting sick is another problem because they treated them just like humans, and they just keep coming out. Yeah, even worse. They got more and more shots. Like you don't need to go out into the wild and like give like a wild bobcat like a jab or something and be like, oh, you're gonna be okay now. You know?
This great white shark is acting weird today. We decided
this
to
just is unjabbed,
dilate, like just capture it today and measure it and put a needle in it and like give it like a vaccine, just make sure it's good.
We're like what the fuck? Like, how far are they gonna take it?
Yeah, he'll be fine.
Well, I also think it's absurd that people don't think that their pets are causing like
they are
and potentially this specific one. Like, how are their pets not getting the vid?
Dogs carry it. A tiger at the zoo was confirmed with COVID.
They could people could just start testing their animals all the time, and I guarantee you there'd be a ton of positive cases. But I think people like they know that humans would do it to themselves, but I don't think that they could get away with doing it to pets. Basically,
we've done it to monkeys, bro. We're not doing it to pets. We're doing it to people. And like, if you want to get in if you want to put like your third tinfoil.
Like animals in the circus and shit, you have elephants in there that they need to get jabbed, They're blowing their snot everywhere when they're they're feeding them GMO bullshit.
On that. Yeah, sure. PPE that dog. Is that dog got his vaccine? PPE that bitch. It's a female dog. It's not.
Seriously, like that whole vet experience is such a scam. Like there's so much expensive shit, and like. They'll basically take a $20 medicine you can buy online and charge your ass like $200 to bring your animal in there, and they'll diagnose it, and they'll just be like, oh yeah, it's just got this regular case of worms or whatever.
Animal. I'm not a doctor, I'm not a veterinarian, but when I meet your animal, if it's like shit, I need help. I don't know it needs help. It comes in like, dude, this is gonna get me on a side rant. Angry people have angry driving and angry animals and angry pets, and they all represent the owner. Yeah. So, angry driver yesterday, fucking whips around me in the middle of the Ville. You know what I'm talking about? Heading home from work. Yeah. I'm like, what the fuck? Yeah. And then she's looking at me in her little side mirror and like looking at me in my eyes, like in my car, and I'm like literally eating vegetable chips, like just. I'm patient when I'm going home. I'm just like, no, they're actually 3D Johns.
The actual chips.
They're good. Shout out to them. No, not sponsored yet by us, but so she's like looking at me, and she's like, you know how you like point in the fucking mirror to your left, and you can see the person, and she's like, "You're an asshole. You're an asshole." And I just didn't say anything, and I just like kept eating chips and pulled up my phone, and then she just made a right. I was like, "Are you kidding me? Like, you are fucking crazy. Like, what do you want me
Holy
to do?
Shit.
React? Dude, I could have sped up and she could have hit a parked car and blamed me or something. So let these people just be angry, be ferocious.
Gosh.
So that led me into my morning. That was a morning thought. Like, people were angry, you know, let them do their thing. So I'm hiking at 6 a.m. In Landenberg. I woke up at 5. I was like, fuck it, I'm going out. You know, I'm getting my day started with the sun. I'm going with the sun and the moon today. And I get there. There's always people with dogs that are early in the morning, and they're fucking ferocious dogs. Like, they only go out in the morning because nobody's there. So I'm the guy who's there. And this lady's dog, like, she's small. I'm sure she's a good dog owner. I don't know her.
Yeah.
I didn't. Nothing but that dog was just like, rah, 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 like fucking. I had a knife in my hand, and I carried bear mace with me, no matter what, where I go, what I do. It's legal. You can carry it. It's a great alternative to a gun. It's a great alternative for fucking punching somebody and being in a physical altercation. So you just fucking spray him with bear spray. So, dude, like, I told the lady, like, that dog is freaking out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Bear,
I told her, I was like, you could keep going. Like, she was walking towards me. I was like, dude, you could keep going. I was like, I gotta go out this way. So she was in between where I was leaving. And, like, I admit, the dog might have been afraid because I kind of came out off trail, like, in the middle of the fucking woods. You know, like, whoa,
dude,
you know, the dog's freaking out. Like, I'm probably like 20 feet, 30 feet away.
She's about to get hosed down, dude.
Yeah, I mean, I shit, dude. Shit. So, you know, I was like, hey, like, can you just go the other way? I'll walk this way. It's fine if that dog is strapped to you. Because, you know, it's going to be a spray first, but then it might be like a small...
It's going to be a spray fest, dude. Like, in situations like that,
dude,
if it gets
out
out
of hand. I don't care what kind of dog you are.
Just got to hose them down.
Takes down a fucking bear.
Dog and
I'll probably give her an extra kiss to, like, spray the dog and then just give her a little glimpse.
Dude, I wish I had some bear spray. I was at the beach. I was at the beach this one time here on the island, and
shit on myself.
A lot of people have pit bulls. A lot of people have pit bulls
They're sketchy,
and dogs
man.
on the beach.
They don't trust certain looking people.
And I love
dogs too.
Pit bulls, and I love all dogs. But the people that are walking around with the pit bulls, you know, they look intimidating as shit. Like, they look like they'll whoop your ass, you know, or like, you know, they're not like the aloha, like,
these,
like, smile, warm, receptive. Like I don't want to run up to your dog and give it a hug. Like, that dog looks like it could just bite me in the throat.
Yeah, that's their personality coming out in that animal. It's not the animal's fault, but like, that's how they feel, and they want that dog to feel because they're insecure. So now the dog is their insecurity to protect them from that.
So, dude, I saw there's two identical people there, two intimidating looking people with their pit bulls. Next thing you know, the pit bulls are basically skirmishing right on the beach, right next to the water. There's people drumming with like little drums. Blood is yeah, dude, trying to chill. People are like smoking bowls and shit, and dude, blood is just splattering on everybody's shit, dude. People got it all over their clothes and like.
Fucking gross.
I got it on the drum. Dog blood was everywhere, dude. And dude, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it was nasty, dude. And that's what happens. Dude. That's what happens if you're like a hard ass. If you're a hard ass person, like you and your dog are gonna get like fucking into some serious situations.
Like I know, like good dogs, and all of them are good pit bulls, and I know them. And this is not a pit bull thing. It's not a big dog thing. It's just we're explaining what we see. We don't have an opinion on pit bulls. I know there's a lot of pit bull Karens.
I owned a pit bull before, and they're definitely they can be chill.
I've lived with one for years.
Great.
I haven't owned one, but I've known some, and they're very fucking smart, and they are articulate, and they really, really care. So that's
why they get taken advantage of by humans, because the humans know they can basically exploit them.
Anybody
and be this,
that comes near
protective,
me, fucking bite.
Guard dog, you know. Yeah, yeah. People get they get real excited like when they know their dog can just like whoop somebody's ass for them, like, you know, and that's going on like all over the place. So you can't just expect every dog is like Lassie.
I don't trust.
Like
So
gonna be your best friend. You know,
we're gonna start this off as part 1. We're gonna press our record button.
because we're at 50.
Press our record buttons, and we'll see you in a little bit.